let's look back at the highlights. This was earlier on today when finally the race did get started. This was the second attempt to get the race underway, but it was a good standing start, a good getaway for New Zealand in particular. This was what happened to Australia. That's why Ryan Briscoe lost so much time. And Mexico was also in trouble. There were a couple of offs in the early stages. Lebanon was first to retire. They had a problem with the car, looked like broken suspension in the early point of the race. Czech Republic had a few moments, but they did recover. So did Switzerland. Neil Yarni would end up finishing in 9th place. And Italy, well, they had a bit of a mishap too, but they came back even stronger. They came back to 4th position. Into the pits they came then for the initial pit stop, but Germany for once made a little mistake. Nico Hulkenberg ran into the gravel. He did manage to get back on target, and then the Dutch decided it was time for slick tyres. No one else quite believed them, but ultimately it was a good choice. Canada though went for the early change, and this is what happened to them in pit lane. Sean McIntosh spinning the car across one of the puddles. New Zealand was able to reclaim the lead after the pit stop, and he was flying along. Germany then had a very slow stop as they lost the wheel nut out of the air gun, had to go for the spare, but they were well organised. The spare was readily available. Mexico again had another grassy moment. South Africa were forced into retirement. Very disappointing for Alan van der Merwe, who'd shone in the early laps, and Jaroslav Yanis again had a little trip into the gravel. This became a bit of a commonplace thing for Tuka Rocha, who ran wide. Meanwhile, France was closing up towards the top two. Malaysia also had a good race, but this scary-looking incident as the wheel came off the Canadian car, thankfully, didn't have any other problems. And Team GBR spun out of what was looking like a solid 4th position for them at that time. USA spun when the safety car was out, and that lost them a possible top 5 finish. As the race restarted for a final 3-lap dash, Switzerland, Brazil made contact, but it was New Zealand that took victory. And a 1-2 finish for the David Sears crew, with Germany finishing in 2nd position. What an outstanding weekend it's been for both sides of that garage, and for Team France as well to come through and take the 8 points for 3rd. Great images of how to enjoy the moment from Johnny Reid, and enjoy the moment he can now that he's taken the 2 wins. There's so much concentration after winning the sprint race that he really didn't see that real delight and relaxation that's in his face after the feature race. Yes, he says, I've done it, and he's done it well.